Well, Mazel Tov to Israel. They've been able to acquire TikTok. Larry Ellison is the largest single donor to the IDF, and he is going to be the largest shareholder in TikTok, as well as Michael Dell, who is also a large donor to the IDF, and the Murdoch family, who also supports the IDF and Israel. I don't know if they've donated money, but I wouldn't be surprised. But this is a win for Israel. Netanyahu even said it for himself. Yes, I understand these people are Americans, except the Murdochs, right? Aren't they Murdochs? Aren't they Australian? So what was the issue? We didn't want China to have control over TikTok, but we're okay if Israel has control over TikTok. Who's going to actually do more censoring? Do you think China will censor us more, or do you think Israel will censor us more? Do we have 36 states in the country that have rules against criticizing China? Oh, no, we don't. But we do have 36 states in this country who have laws against criticizing Israel or boycotting Israel. You can't boycott, divest, or sanction Israel or call for that if you want to receive a state contract or have a state job. We have 36 states. So there's clearly more of a threat of Israel owning social media and censoring. This is what Netanyahu had to say about it.
Christian influencers, okay? You said, we talked about the woke right, and you said, I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant observation. The woke Reich, because these people, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane, they're loonies. But they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community. They're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. The weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well. Okay? And you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are the social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is followers. TikTok. TikTok. Number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one that's most important? X. That's very good. And, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. We should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot. And I could go on other things, but that's not the point right now. We have to fight the fight, okay? To give direction to the Jewish people and give direction to our non-Jewish friends or those who could be our Jewish our friends. Are we going to succeed with everyone? No. Will there be a strong counterpoint? Yes.
I didn't think it could happen to me, but just recently, someone stole my information and actually bought a car under my name in Texas. While I was standing in the Idaho DMV getting my new driver's license, a thief was driving off the dealer lot pretending to be me. And I only caught it because I was getting bombarded with alerts. Now imagine if I hadn't seen them in time. And this is exactly why today's sponsor, Aura, matters. If you've ever wondered how scammers get your personal info, your phone number, your address, even where you supposedly work, it's because of data brokers. These shady companies collect your data and sell it to anyone, from marketers to scammers, and they make billions doing it. They don't ask your permission. And while they're legally required to remove your info if you ask, they make the process nearly impossible on purpose. Believe me, I'm going through it right now. But if I had Aura set up before, this thief would have had a much harder time. Aura automatically scans and scrubs your information from those data broker sites, and then it keeps it off. It also gives you real-time fraud alerts, so instead of finding out a day later that someone used your name, you get notified right away. That's the kind of tool I wish I had in place when all of this happened. But Aura is more than just removing your data from shady brokers. It's an all-in-one digital security app. It alerts you if your personal info is found on the dark web. It monitors your credit and bank accounts in real time. It gives you a secure VPN, password manager, antivirus, and more. And if something does happen, Aura covers you with up to $5 million in identity theft insurance and 24/7 U.S.-based fraud support. The fact that companies profit off of our stolen data while we're left vulnerable is outrageous. I learned that the hard way. But I'm not leaving myself unprotected anymore, and you shouldn't either. Protect yourself and your family with Aura. Try it free for 14 days at aura.com/Kim Iverson. And in just 2 weeks, Aura will show you where your personal data is being exposed and start scrubbing it off the internet automatically. Again, that's aura.com/Kim Iverson. So there he is. Just the most important thing right now is the acquisition of TikTok by supposed American Larry Ellison, supposed American Michael Dell, right? And the Murdoch family. There's others that are involved, but Larry Ellison will be the largest shareholder. He's the founder of Oracle, and he'll be the largest shareholder of Mazel. And this is just going to be beneficial to Israel. They are going to start censoring if they haven't already, and they'll censor. It'll be worse for America for this to be under the control of Israelis. And I get it that these are American Israelis, but they are absolutely Israelis. Anybody who donates to a foreign military, even if Larry Ellison, it doesn't matter which military he's donating to. Do you think that our social media, if we were so protective over social media and the whole reason for forcing the sale was we don't trust China, why would we trust anybody, any American, who donates large amounts of money to a foreign military? Does that sound right? That's the person that we should be trusting social media and the influence of social media with? And yet Larry Ellison gets it. Let me just play for you some of the scary things that Larry Ellison has said, some of his ideas.
Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. The first thing a country needs to do is to unify all of their data so it can be consumed and used by the AI model. You have to take all of your healthcare data, your diagnostic data, your electronic health records, your genomic data. The security system, we have biometric logins. The computer recognizes you. It recognizes your voice.
That's not scary at all, is it? People are all going to be on their best behaviors because we're watching you. And we need to be putting all of our data into one place. And you have Tony Blair there. Yep. That's exactly what we need to do. Tony Blair, who's been the biggest champion of digital IDs that are being unleashed on the British people as we speak. This is the person. His ideas are scary enough, let alone he's the largest private donor to the IDF. And now he's going to be in charge of the largest social media platform. And then on top of it, you have Netanyahu saying, and we got to talk to Elon. That makes me wonder if, the whole Elon being on the Epstein files, the latest Elon being on the Epstein files, it kind of makes me wonder if his name was slipped in there as, well, is he still going to the island? If this was a plant by the Israelis to frighten Elon, they've already frightened him enough, right? Remember when he had to make his pilgrimage to Israel or to Auschwitz? He had to make his pilgrimage to Auschwitz. And then what did they do? They also took him, they showed him all these things from October 7th. And suddenly he came back, he was more critical of Israel. And suddenly he came back and all he does is sing Israel praises and basically does whatever it is that they want. And that is highly suspicious. He took this trip and then he comes back and everyone's like, Elon's changed. What did they say to him? How did they blackmail him? And suddenly we see his name on the Epstein files as being somebody who potentially, he was invited to the island according to the files. And it makes you wonder after Netanyahu saying, we got to talk to Elon. He's a friend, like as if it was a warning, like, hey, Elon, we can put you in any of the files that we need to. We can destroy you. And we could do that if you don't play along. And so what is happening? Elon's maybe playing along. This was the supposed release of the Epstein files showing that Elon, saying, reminder, Elon Musk, December 6th, is this still happening? To the island. They say Elon Musk to the island, December 6th, is this still happening? Almost looks like it was inserted into this log in order to use it as pressure on Elon to censor X the way they're about to censor TikTok. It just makes you wonder about that. Just Elon going and having to make his pilgrimage and doing all of that. It's just really, really unbelievable. You see, let me show you their idea of also Israel, by the way, has been spending as of this month. Let me see if I can find this for you. They're spending millions of dollars on social media campaigns. So not only are they buying TikTok and Netanyahu saying this is the most consequential thing, and then we need to talk to Elon, but on top of it, they're spending millions of dollars on a Hezbollah campaign to try to change the change the opinions of people who have a negative opinion of them because we're watching them slaughter babies. They think that Hezbollah is going to counter the slaughter of babies. Like we're seeing the live streaming of a genocide, but it's going to be the Hezbollah that's going to change our mind. So they're spending $150 million on what they call officially public diplomacy, or in Hebrew, it's called Hezbollah. And this is the type of Hezbollah I guess they're making. This is a, I guess it's a TikTok video. I'm not sure what platform these two influencers decide to stick this video, but this is after Netanyahu went and had his big meeting with all of the influencers. Let me show you the meeting that he had when he was here in the United States for the UN. He met with all these social media influencers, and they're spending $150 million on various campaigns. And apparently this is what they bought. Tell me if this has influenced you to like Israel more. Tell me your thoughts after this.
Imagine supporting people who start wars just to lose the wars so they can cry about it and then try it all again.
You must see anti-Semites are literally obsessed with Jews. Now walk with me. While you must see anti-Semites are stacking eviction notices, Jews are out here stacking up businesses.
Jews control all the industries. Maybe if you spent more time taking notes from successful people, you wouldn't have to spend your nights and weekends spreading hate from your anonymous account with an anime profile picture.
Do you work as hard as Jews? Do you network like Jews? No, because you're too busy cheering on a group of musty terrorists who smell like dirty earring backs. And if we're gonna keep it real, you're really mad because your income is giving side hustle.
Period.
How you gonna hate from outside, Shabbat? You can't even get in.
I mean, I just don't even understand this video. Like, why would they think that makes people like Jews better? I mean, this is just going to make people, and as it is right now, the sentiment of people, it is shifting. It really is shifting towards Jews. I mean, it started off with anti-Israel, anti-Zionism, but now with, here's Emily Austin walking with her Star of David, saying all of these awful things. People are, and she's an American, although I think she is a dual citizen. I'm not 100% certain on it, but it is causing people to have an overall negative view of Jews in general. And I think that is something that, Netanyahu and all of the Zionists and Jews themselves who are Zionists and are pushing for this really need to have that, I guess, inner dialogue within their communities and with themselves about and it's not, but the problem with it is that I think what they say to themselves is people just, anti-Semitism, just the Gentiles, eventually they're all anti-Semites. It's in them. And it crops up every so often. Every few decades, anti-Semitism just kind of comes out of them because of their jealousy, which is essentially what this video was, saying, well, you're just jealous of all the Jews. And that creates this animosity, and we just got to squash it every so often. And that's what it is. Rather than saying, or maybe it's this attitude of telling people you're jealous of us, and that's why you feel the way you feel. Rather than, or maybe your group is, isolating, not welcoming to others, doing business just with yourselves, or just, keep. And I think anytime there's any group that just keeps within themselves, like the good old boys, right? And it's like, how do you break into that group? It causes animosity. It causes people to feel left out, and causes people to feel like, they grow animosity when they're left out. And this is something that, any group that is left out will start to harbor resentment and will start to harbor that animosity, rather than it just being, oh, you're just jealous. Well, yeah, sure. I guess we're jealous that we're being left out of whatever it is that you're leaving us out of. But also in this case, when it comes to Zionism, it's the live streaming of a genocide that we're watching that is causing people to say, it's not just the businesses, like what they're trying to say in this video. Oh, well, you're just, look, we control all the industries and we make all these businesses. Again, I don't know what the point of this terrible video was, if it was supposed to make people like Jews or not like Jews. I don't think it was winning hearts and minds, that's for sure. But it's, just saying, well, you're just jealous of us. Um, when we're watching a live stream genocide this time, that is what's causing the animosity is the death of children, thousands and thousands of children, and an attack of people, all because you say this land is yours because God gave it to you and it was promised to you. That is what's causing the animosity right now. But when those who are not even Israeli, but it's American Jews in America, like these two, and I don't even know, again, I don't know, I don't actually even know who they are.
Imagine supporting people who start.
I don't even want to know. I know she's Emily Austin. I don't know who this other guy is, but I know he was at the Hamptons fiasco, the Charlie Kirk. They both were there to pressure Charlie Kirk, allegedly. These were two of the influencers who were there, but this isn't going to work. And buying TikTok isn't going to work either. And telling Elon that we're not allowed to talk about Israel anymore, that's not going to work. None of this is going to work. All it's going to do is cause more animosity, more anger, more hate, more pointing the finger at Jews in general and saying, this is your fault. Because Larry Ellison's an American, yet he's donating to the IDF and he's now going to start censoring us. And we can't blame that on an Israeli. You're going to blame that on an American Jew. And that is that's where this is headed. And that is what I'm hearing just even out in public. Anecdotally, it started off with most people were very pro-Israel. Then people started to become less pro-Israel. Then people were really anti-Zionist. They started to see that. And now it really is reeling into more anti-Jew. And I think that is something that, the calculation by Netanyahu, by Zionists, by these wealthy individuals like Larry Ellison and others and Bill Ackman, this is a real serious miscalculation. And it is harming the viewpoint that people have of Jews in general, not just of Israelis, not just of Zionists, but now of Jews in general, because most still support the IDF, most still support Israel, most still support Zionism. And that has been, and now they're going to start controlling speech and censoring, and people are going to be cheering that on. And this isn't going, basically my point on this isn't going in a good direction for Jews in general. And it is starting to get to that point. And that doesn't lead anywhere. Whenever you demonize a group of people and it becomes us versus them, it doesn't lead to anything good. So it is imperative that Israel stop its onslaught. It is imperative I think it's imperative for Jews in general, for their survival, for their, the whole reason they created the state of Israel was for survival. I think it's in the best interest of Jews' survival to no longer support the state of Israel or the idea of a Jewish state. That instead will be worse for them than having that Jewish nation. Certainly, I think what's really damaging more than anything is this idea of you're jealous of us and that's why you feel the way you do, that kind of superiority, and also the superiority of we're the chosen ones. And even if certain Jews interpret that differently, there's plenty of secular Jews who don't, because they're not looking at it from a religious point, and they're feeling, and they really take it like, well, we're just the chosen ones and you're not, and so therefore you're jealous. And that I think is actually the crux of the issue in general, and the crux of what has created Zionism in general, and this idea that we're entitled to this land because God said it was ours and we're the chosen people. I think that ideology really needs to be reflected upon, and that ideology of being superior or chosen or better than, or you're just jealous because we're superior, that attitude will cause problems for any group of people who have any sort of superiority. Time and time and time again, it will happen generation after generation after generation after generation. And no, it's not because other people are just born with an inherent anti-Semitism. It's because people are born with an inherent feeling of equality. All men were created equal at birth. And people really feel that inside their core. And they do not like it when another group of people says, but we're superior. So I think that whole, if that's what is going to be the now new social media campaign, now that Larry Ellison is buying TikTok, and now that Israel's spending $150 million on Hasbara, if that results in, well, Jews are just better than you, and so get over it, I don't think people are going to be getting over it. I think it's only going to be getting worse. Thank you for watching this clip from the full Kim Iverson show, which you can catch Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern at KimIversonShow.com. It is free for you to watch. Again, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, KimIversonShow.com. See you there.